some love to the mother, and she pass on to the father. Then give it to the next door neighbor. So love moving to the area. To the search, to the sinner, to the police, to the gangster. Give over your body like cancer. You call love answer. So give some love to your enemy. Show them you got the remedy. No more negative energy. Melody with harmony. Real love not expensive. True love not too offensive. This love break the fences. Effective. Keep on your gun and bring out your love and come.
Hey, daughter and son, just bring out your love and come. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are joining us. On the Street 91.9 FM, I'm Dr. Madonna, and welcome to Words Matter. How are you? How are you? How have you spent the last holiday, the Independence holiday, and the culmination of Pan Month? And wow, did you enjoy Java, July August vacation period? And it's back to school. Wow, lots of things have happened and things are happening. So I am delighted to be in your company today. And reflecting on the month and its significance, I want to talk about, something I call the fullness of time, in the fullness of time. In the Bible, it's really prevalent, the term, the principle about the fullness of time. But the concept and the principle and the practice has universal resonance. So there are many variations on the theme, and it's about the right timing, when the time is right. And if you remember legendary basketball player Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he said, quote, "I try to do the right thing at the right time. They may just be little things, but usually they make the difference between winning and losing." And I believe that the initiatives with the steel pan and the discourse about the steel pan are happening at the right time. It is the fullness of time to explore the initiatives and the discourse about the steel pan. And in today's edition of Words Matter, I want to make some connections between the initiatives and the discourse and all the celebrations and the past month as we reflected on the steel pan, both its historical contributions, contemporary contributions, and its potential for the society and the economy of Trinidad and Tobago. I would invite us to consider the linkages between this discourse and these happenings with the steel pan and our Vision 2030 aspirations. Also, as we start the school year, what are the implications for, again, the initiatives and the discourse for pan in schools and pan education in schools? Pan in schools, pan education in schools. And we need to also, I want to see if we can explore what needs to be done in this. Well, again, we have this principle, this kairos moment, this fullness of time for the steel pan, our economy, dealing with some of the societal challenges that we're experiencing. And of course, it's back to school. What are the implications and perhaps suggestions around the link between all this focus on the pan and education, the school system? Sometime, if you have time, please make the time to read the Vision 2030 document. It's really on, it's available, it's there. Just Google Vision 2030. It's on the Ministry of Planning's website and so on, but it's there. Just Google Vision 2030 Trinidad and Tobago and spend some time looking at this document. And particularly, what the connection I want to make today is about the first theme of the Vision 2030, our aspirations. It's called Putting People First, Nurturing Our Greatest Asset. And the seventh goal around that theme has to do with having a modern, relevant education and training system. Right? This is our aspiration, that Trinidad and Tobago by 2030 will have a modern, relevant education and training system. And you know, many of you are involved in your PTAs and so on, and you're close to a school. There are adopt a school projects. Some of the banks have that as one of their CSRs, that they will adopt a school. And we all should be part of that discussion and doing something about getting closer to, understanding to, contributing to both the discussion and the initiatives so that we can have a modern, relevant education and training system. Now, in this goal, Vision 2030, goal number 7, it speaks to the relevance of the education, and and talking about that relevance, what it means, and it fleshes out that it means ensuring that positive values and behaviors are instilled in our nation's youth towards building a progressive society and a disciplined workforce. Look at that, progressive society. So when we're talking about a modern education system, modern and relevant education system, some of the things that we're speaking of has to do with positive values and behaviors being instilled in the nation's youth towards what was the end game? A progressive society and a disciplined workforce. And I'm coming to the linkage with PAN. Hey, hold that. I'm not deviating from that. It talks about relevance, and it also says, and this is from the Vision 2030 document, that one of the initiatives is to revise the school curriculum to emphasize core values, nationalism, and workforce readiness skills. Look at it. One of the initiatives for our Vision 2030 goal of having a modern, relevant education system, school system, is to revise the curriculum to emphasize core values, nationalism, and workforce readiness skills. So we've got to hold our ministry, our government, their feet to the fire, and ask and insist that we achieve this initiative about having core values taught in the schools. And the core values include discipline, production, tolerance, civic responsibility, and lifelong learning. Let me just deviate a bit. I remember years ago, we had in our secondary schools RI, religious instruction, and we also had, well, for me as a Christian, the Interschool Varsity Christian Fellowship, ISCF. And then for persons of non-Christian faith, the doors were open for them to come in and to share their faith among whosoever will. And I'm raising the point that in these sessions, core values were taught. Core values were taught. Perhaps it continues today. I'm not so sure. And that's great. It continues. Oh, brilliant. Now, and the core values include discipline, production, tolerance, civic responsibility, and lifelong learning. Now, the link with PAN, some years ago, in 1995, our venerable Lloyd Best, I mean, a man ahead of his time, a gift to this nation, he had presented the best plan for PAN. This was, and it was carried in the Sunday Express of February the 12th, 1995. And Lloyd Best saw the Panyard as a platform for economic growth and development. Let me repeat that. Lloyd Best saw the Panyard as a platform for economic growth and development. He saw the Panyard as a center of excellence and a pole of innovation and native entrepreneurship. He saw as one of the assets of the Panyard the capacity for civic harmony and community collaboration, as well as the potential for engaging sleeping resources and native intuition. I want to connect, and I'm going to come back to some of the key points around community mobilization and so on. In a letter to the, more than a letter, a paper that he presented, Dr. Samuel Luchan of the School of Education, IWER, St. Augustine, he said that no manager of a steel band ever complained about short attention spans of its members, or that they were from poor communities and single-parent families, and so had all kind of learning disorders and discipline problems. These are the regular complaints of teachers in the formal system. Unlike the formal system, PAN evolved as a vehicle for selfhood, for and by people in disadvantaged contexts, and provides an opportunity for their authentic engagement. Lloyd Best continues, I believe, if as an experiment we try to link upgraded PANIAs with the secondary schools in the Laventille area, then we could link the program of PAN in School with School in PAN. If each school program is attached to a well-established PANIAD, then students would experience the spin-off activities for generating work, employment, and further education which the PANIAD has to offer. This would help to transform schooling as we know it. Let me just say that again. If as an experiment we tried to link these upgraded PANIADs with the secondary schools in the Laventille area, then we could link the program of PAN in School with School in PAN. If each school program is attached to a well-established PANIAD, then students would experience the spin-off activities for generating work, employment, and further education which the PANIAD has to offer. This would help to transform schooling as we know it. In this time, which I call the fullness of time, when there's a lot of discussion and initiatives around the steel pan, I believe to add to those discussions and initiatives would be the PAN in School, but as Lloyd Best said, School in PAN. Pastor Google, I see you wanted to say something earlier on.
No. I was showing you something. But...
Yeah, the Honorable Prime Minister at his post-cabinet media conference may have been about just a couple of weeks ago.
No,
last week. Okay, it was last week, Wednesday. All right, okay, cool. And he addressed the furore surrounding the placement of the PAN icon on the coat of arms and the naysayers around the cost and so on. But this is the right time. Yes, let the conversations continue. But I think we've reached a kairos moment, the fullness of time for us to, first of all, from a spiritual level, be grateful that the PAN was invented here. And the persons and the performers and the artists and everybody who have had and continue to play a role in advancing the PAN. And with all its potential, we've got to be grateful. And you know, there should be no turning back. No turning. Keep on advancing the steel pan and the recognition of Trinidad and Tobago as the birthplace of the steel pan, and also capitalizing on the opportunities that such an instrument provides and will provide for generations to come for this country of Trinidad and Tobago. Please, let's join the conversation. I believe it is a fullness of time for the initiatives and for the discussion around PAN, its historical significance, its potential for resolving some of our societal issues, and its a potential to impact the economy of Trinidad and Tobago, even as our aspiration in the Vision 2030 document demands or makes room for creating a modern education system, and that must be relevant to resolving the societal challenges and relevant to the workplace demands. So join the conversations, 342-0081, 466-5391, and there's a new number, 771-17, lots of sevens there, 1791. 3420081, 466-5391, 771-1791. Tell me, do you believe it is the fullness of time, it is the right moment to advance the initiatives? Yes, advance the conversations, but capitalize on the promise and the possibilities of the steel pan for correcting some of our societal challenges and for taking advantage of the opportunity it presents for the economic transformation of Trinidad and Tobago. Love to hear from you.
From Street 919 FM. Is it that you also would recommend that we place the history of the pan in the schools of Trinidad and Tobago, seeing that we are now incorporating it into our emblems? Is it now more important for children to know where the pan came from?
Of course. And I mean, education is all-encompassing. It is good for our children to know that there was a time when we had no steel pan in this country, and the conditions under which it evolved, where it came from, what drove it, the effect it had on our society at one stage. When I was growing up in my village, we had 2 steel pans in the village. I didn't go into a pan yard until I was 18 years old. I couldn't go there because my parents forbid me from having anything to do with the steel pan. Right? And people need to know these things to be able to appreciate who we are and what it is and what value it has to us. You know, to come from that situation to one where we accept with a certain amount of pride when a steel band appears at various locations in the world. That is progress. That is evolution of a society. And some people understand it, some people know it, and as others get to know more about it, they will take different positions on it. You know, it was interesting that it became a race issue. It did. A lot of racial comments spewed last week. And it was interesting that we had last week coming the closure of the Pan Classics with the orchestral bands playing at Jean Pierre. It was interesting that the leader of the champion band was an Indian. Isn't that interesting? While people were making arguments that is an African thing and therefore is racial and divisive, the classics were won by a band led by an East Indian the same night that they were making the race talk. So you know to take that. Yes?
Thank you for reminding us about your question and the Prime Minister's response. Yes, I heard it. And again, I'm saying this is the fullness of time for the discussion and for the initiatives, both global and local, as well as to seize the opportunities for economic transformation that the steel pan presents for Trinidad and Tobago. Our first caller.
Hello?
Yeah, good morning, caller. You have to speak up. You're sounding very soft.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah, much better. Continue.
Oh, great. Yeah, I just want to confirm that I think any moment is the right moment for fans to be recognized. And I think as it comes now, I think we should embrace that. I am not one of those who think that it's a negative move to consider replacing the 3 ships with the steel band. I have no problem with that concept.
I'm hearing, it's a bit soft. I'm not sure if it's a caller. Okay.
Can you hear me better here? Can you hear me better? Better?
Yes, we're hearing you.
Okay. Yeah, what I'm saying is I agree with the move. I agree with for steel pan to take that place. Because I think the time for that is as soon as, and it might be overdue, but we're ready. I think any time is good time. I know there are things that have to be worked out with respect to rollouts and changes and so on, but that could be staggered, that could be phased in as need be. But I think the move itself is a good move. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, caller. Yes, I agree with you 100%. But there is a concept on the fullness of time, which is what, you know, when everything, there's a confluence of forces. And I think this is the right time, and we need to seize the opportunity. Caller number 2, good morning.
Hi, pleasant morning, Dr. Google. I didn't get the presenter's name. Pleasant morning.
I am Dr. Madonna.
Hi, Dr. Google. Pleased to hear you. You know, I want to really this drive because I think it's an important tool that can be used. Can you properly?
No, there's some scratchy thing singing in the background there.
Yeah. You're hearing me better now?
Yes, yes.
Right, yeah. I think it's an important tool that we can use for the psychosocial interventions. And I say that because, Mr. Madonna, I think when I tuned in, you were talking about issues in respect to the attention span, issues sometimes even respect to some of the children who are on different levels of what we'd call it. They have different problems and motor skills. And you present the pan to them, and somehow the pan seems to be a bridge where they can be able to concentrate, their attention span is much longer. You have children who are not performing well academically, but if they take up the pan, they can learn songs in 2 to 3 weeks, in a month time. They're playing for Carnival. So I think we have not really looked at the psychosocial interventions that the pan can provide for some of our children who are struggling academically. And I definitely believe we need to, what's the term they use about the pan in school and school in pan?
Yeah, that was taken from the eminent scholar Lloyd Best.
Okay, well, we don't always agree with him, but in this case, we definitely do. In terms of pan in school and school in pan, there is going to be an exponential growth for our young people if we can get them to concentrate. You see how much hours they take sometimes in the night. I pass by in dropping some folks off from church at Eddie Hart, Angel Harp in Olton Arima, and 10, 11 o'clock, they are there practicing and they are concentrating. So I think it can provide another distraction away from some of the things that become very much contrary to good behavior and moral uprightness. So I agree with you that we should revisit, or we should visit, the issue of pan. And, you know, the issue of the timing, is there ever going to be a good time to do something like this? I guess not, because we would always have the economic challenges. So I think we should move right ahead and see how we could begin to invest more so that the pan can become a tool we can use to help curb the scourge of crime. Thank you very much.
Blessings to you, caller. Thank you so very much. And spot on. The quote came from Dr. Samuel Luchan, and he represented Lloyd Best's views on the steel pan as a vehicle, and you call it a tool, for treating with societal problems and economic challenges. And I'm glad you expanded on it and you gave some current examples how the steel pan can be used for psychosocial interventions among young people. And you know, the Lloyd Best was talking about, and I have this wonderful quote here. If each school program is attached to a well-established panyard, then students would experience the spin-off activities for generating work, employment, and further education which the panyard has to offer. This would help to transform schooling as we know it. This could mean that these upgraded panyards all have a formal youth orchestra, which could be the graduating point for students from the school orchestras. the Panyards could establish their own training and development activities and grant their own certificates. Isn't that revolutionary? That's Lloyd Best for you. And again, I believe that all the forces have come together at this moment, and that's why I talk about the fullness of time. And we need to press on forward. And my apologies if I offend anybody, but really to ignore the detractors. We have got to seize this moment, right? We are prepared, we are ready, the space is there, everything has lined up. It's about time. Good morning, caller.
Morning, with Dr. Madonna.
How are you?
Fine. So, what I like to say, in 1982, right, I was working with a German national. He was able to travel back to Germany. His most profound way is to go and buy it and add it to luggage. He was so in tenor. And he did just what the tenor took. You understand?
Yeah, you have somebody from Germany came and they purchased a pan and took it back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Hello, good morning. Hello, morning.
Good morning, Doctor. Good morning. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we're hearing you.
Good morning, Pastor Google and Dr. Madonna.
Good morning, caller. You're the first female caller.
Okay. Yes. I heard you were speaking about Lloyd Best, what he was saying.
Yes, ma'am.
But could I ask a question? Was it that had to be a long time ago he wrote or said that.
Yes,
but why
ma'am.
wasn't it at that time taken up as not now, like years ago? Did we have steel band music festivals and thing? I remember years ago they used to have classical musical festival, and do you remember that?
True.
Like, what I was wondering, when people are speaking now, like if it's a new invention or like they're now here in Pan, and in all these suggestions you are saying, I am wondering why it wasn't developed, although it's nice that it is on the track now, but that is a thing should be on the forefront at all times, And I remember years and years ago, my daughter is 40-something now, and I remember years in her school when she was young, professor, one of the steel band, I think he died. Yeah, he died. He was their teacher in school. They had their school pan, but I think all that went, I don't know why they stopped all that and thing, but they should really bring it back, as you say,
Well said.
It's really a good thing.
Yes,
it's really a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't think that it stopped, because in San Fernando, there is Old Tech, the San Fernando. There are a lot of school steel pan
orchestras. So
there's the junior band, junior steel pan where the St. Margaret's boys and Lincoln wins every year with the school steel pan competition. So I don't think it stopped.
That is it. Right. Yes. What I mean, stop formally. What I mean is their carnival time or panorama time and things like that. But I'm talking about it should be, as the doctor said, Dr. Madhu, ingrained in the school system as even a subject or whatever.
I learned pan in school. I don't think I have to check that. I don't think that pan is not.
No, I'm just saying. Well, probably I'm mistaken. All I'm saying is everybody is speaking like it was a new thing, as you said. You knew that, So I am just wondering if it's a new thing. But I know, like what you're saying, Pastor Google, it has always been a thing. But I haven't heard, in the recent past, everybody know, and they should do this and they should do that. But anyway, it's nice that somebody's thinking about it. So Pastor Google, you learn pan in school?
Yes, I went to Marble Junior Sec, and I remember learning pan in school. It was a subject in school.
And did you carry forward, like, right?
No, I wasn't at that point. No, at that point in time in my life, I wasn't. Not everybody drawn towards to pursue pan in the way that.
Yes, yeah.
And I think back in my time, that is what they were trying to do. They were trying to use us to get us more, you know, drawn to the pan.
That's what I remember. Yes, that's what I remember.
Yeah.
The
Right.
It was a kind of school thing. But anyway, it's nice to be back and, you know, to be a good topic. Have a good day.
Thank you so very much, caller. Let's take a break, and I will address some of the issues the last caller raised and the previous callers. Thank you very much. The Foundation for Healing Conversations is a Christian faith community transforming lives through healing conversations. The foundation is currently engaged in transforming the community of Embarcadero in San Fernando. We are working with young men 17 years and over, equipping them with entrepreneurial skills, agriculture, spiritual and attitudinal mindset shifts. To partner with us and experience community transformation at its finest, visit our Facebook page, the Foundation for Healing Conversations, or call us on 398-5013 and become a member of the Foundation for Healing Conversations. I am Dr. Madonna, and I approve this message.
Do you want to enjoy public speaking? Yes, enjoy it. Madonna Doyle and Associates, a leader in communication training, has partnered with Barkey Graduate University, known for its excellence in leadership development, to bring you a unique public speaking certificate course. It's about loving every moment of it. Imagine delivering powerful speeches with confidence, connecting with your audience, and having fun doing it. This course is specifically designed for credit union professionals in the Caribbean who want to make an impact while enjoying the process. Turn your fear into joy. Sign up today at madonnadoyle.com/public speaking.
And welcome back, right?
I wanted to say something, but I had to know what, you know.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. I hope people do take up the
offer, the training offer.
Yeah, I want to endorse it, and I want to ask persons out there, if you know somebody who need, because there are a lot of persons who want that public speaking skill.
They need it,
and I'm just endorsing it. I got a letter from I wouldn't call it the institution, but it's a reputable institution.
Okay, sir.
Sent me a letter asking me to come to take up an offer in helping them in with their public speaking program. And when I got the letter from them, I got the email from them, and I was shocked. And I was recommended by somebody in the media. And I was shocked when he recommended me. And I said to myself, that means that he's listening to me.
Okay.
And he is impressed with my presentation and the way I speak on the radio. And I'm seriously thinking about taking up the offer. Dr. Madonna, I'm not going to fool myself. I'm started back school Saturday coming here. And I don't want to, you know, now. I don't want to run myself too thin. You know, I have a son who's in secondary school. He also needs my attention.
Yes.
And I have to.
We are running this program. It's interesting that we're running this program continually.
Oh, it's not just a one-off.
It's not just a one-off.
So I know that people have heard the ad. When is it starting?
On the 12th of September. Right. This is right around the corner.
Right.
And we're targeting, in this first cohort, we're targeting credit unions.
Okay, so people who are...
yes, managers, and there are small financial institutions that need this, because you're talking about bringing in your monies, and you're talking about making an impression, and you're talking about appealing to a number of things, right? We call them the motivators, appealing to those, and having them. The call to action is sign up, join, and winning new customers is quite a challenge. But when you do, you have to maintain that. So it's linked. This public speaking and presentation skills, our program is linked to getting members in, getting persons to sign up. and even making your presentations. Many of the, for example, you have committee members in a credit union, right? Credit and education and so on. But before they get to this committee, they're at the AGM and they want to sell themselves and so on. And then they've got to present what their committees are doing. And in fact, public speaking it runs the whole gamut of life experiences. And we need to do it well. And there's an art and a science behind it, which we have spent more than 20 years crafting.
So persons would get like a outline of the syllabus, or as you say, of the program of what they will be doing and stuff like that.
We've done that for years, certainly.
Right, yeah.
And in this program, people get a certificate of professional development offered by my company in collaboration with Bakke Graduate University. So it's a recognized top quality. It's gone through all the committees and so on. So it's solid, right? And it's in a modular fashion. So you can start with the first module, which is about communicating with confidence, dealing with the fear of public speaking. That's the first module. And it is hybrid. So you meet the facilitator via Zoom and get the training, but you have offline kind of work experiences where you have to practice the skills, and then present the skills.
So you have to do a presentation on your own.
Definitely, because you want to, what we call, flex your muscles around whether it's communicating with your audience and so on, right? So online, so you meet the facilitator via Zoom, and then now you have opportunities to work and then share with your.
So it's not in person.
No, it's not in person.
Okay.
Right. It's not in person. If it's to be in person, feel free to call my company 307-5703, and somebody will answer.
Say it one more time.
307-5703. Yes, call. And you'll get all the details. 307-5703. Jamelia will answer you, and she'll give you all the information. And I was telling you, it's running continuously because we have this cohort, and then you can just take this one module, overcoming that fear. We call it communicating with confidence. And you breathe, and you come next year to do the second module, and so it goes.
Also, you don't have to do the whole thing in one go.
No, you can do it over, I think we're saying over a 3 to 4 month period.
Okay.
You can do that. You can take it in bite-sized portions. You can take a module here, and that might be about 12 hours, and then a second module, and so it goes, right? And there are established times in which, so for example, this one begins on the 12th of September, and the module would be for a 2-week period. 4 weeks, I think, 4 weeks. Because you split it up because you've got so many techniques to help you overcome that fear.
But you were talking about several techniques. Before, I remember it was 2 weeks ago you were talking about some techniques that you recognize the Prime Minister has.
Oh, yeah.
And so you're looking at different techniques for different audiences. And that's another thing that people don't understand. According to the audience that you're speaking to, correct, you have to know how to do your presentation.
Yes, it's flexing. You have to flex, right? And then we have another technique of what we call, you move from the vernacular to the formal. It's called code switching. Right. So we share all these, you see, we share all these techniques so that you could communicate with your audience. And there are different types of communication. You could communicate intellectually. You could connect emotionally, physically, and we have at a higher level, spiritual connection. Right? So you're using, and then physical connection with your audience, right? So we take a deep dive. It's not superficial. We take a deep dive into presentation skills, right? We start with it's called the second fear that humans have, the fear of speaking in public. And that's the foundation. And once you build on that foundation, you take it forward and you keep on.
So we're going to keep you informed, because you don't want to switch the discussion, right? But we're going to keep you informed on how we're going to go about doing, informing you about this public speaking program that Dr. Madonna and I are embarking on. And so we're talking about the PAN.
Yes.
We're going back to the past.
Yes. But thank you for the opportunity, you know. I should come in and elaborate more on this program.
Yeah, we'll do it a little more. We'll do it a little more. We'll elaborate a little more.
Yes.
And I'll know how to bring it in if it
Yes,
all right?
yes.
So we're taking your calls. I don't want Dr. Madonna to switch her discussion. So we take it because I could get into this with her.
It's really, oh boy, yeah. It's in fact, it's the first program when I started to do training. Training in public speaking was the first course that I had offered because I felt that there was a need, particularly among technocrats and technically sound professionals, but how they presented their services and their products and so on, that was a bit of a challenge. So we really wanted to help.
Great.
So let's talk about the fullness of time and dealing with the initiatives of the steel pan. And I'm saying this is the right moment to move forward. Now, the last caller was asking whether it's being presented as a new thing. And we're not saying that. In fact, I recall that in the primary school that my children attended in St. Joseph, there's a steel pan and teaching steel pan. And in many schools, there are steel orchestras and so on. And they're taught pan. What Lloyd Best was saying and why we make the connection between what Lloyd Best said and our Vision 2030 aspirations, he said, it's more than just school in pan. Pan in schools, but it's about school in pan. And he talked about that nexus, that connection between developed pan yards and the education system and treating with the relevant education system as in the Vision 2030 and what it means, one, to have the young people ready for the workplace, two, dealing with, and the second caller talked about the psychosocial interventions. Yes, definitely, because as the writer was saying that there are no attention deficit disorders and so on in the plain steel pan. And the caller mentioned, I mean, hours upon hours, we've seen children practicing and so on. And I want to make the point that there are multiple intelligences. If they're struggling academically, maybe that's not the path for them. They can use their intelligence in other ways, and the steel pan is a fantastic tool to unearth those other intelligences. So it's pan in schools, and teaching young people to play pan has been ongoing. But what we're saying today, what I'm sharing with us today, that it is a fullness of time, a kairos moment, we say in our religious terminology, because we've got the world recognition. We've got the recognition of the pan as the national, legally so, it's the national instrument of Trinidad and Tobago. We've got the pan month. We've got the incentives for many things pan. All of that happening in a short period of time, which tells us, those of us who understand how to tap into the spirit world, we recognize this is not by chance, and we need to seize the opportunity, right? And that's the point I'm making. This is the right time. This is the right time to seize the opportunities to connect the pan, and I'm saying school in pan, dust off Lloyd's best thinking. Connect that with the Vision 2030 goal of having a relevant education system that teaches values and our watchwords and so on. It's time to do that. And the discussion around the steel pan and the coat of arms, yes, we have discussion. It's a free country and so on. But we would regret it if we don't seize the opportunity to take it forward, to seize on the economic benefits, the caller said the psychosocial interventions, some of the societal challenges that we're experiencing. We need now to, don't slacken your reins, just move forward on the initiatives and the conversations about pan and seizing the opportunities that are being presented by this confluence of initiatives around the steel pan. We need to think, even you and I, Google, we need to think, how could I get involved? How could I use my skill as a trainer and leverage the steel pan in sharing some of the content in which I train? And you know, these are things, it's a world, it's an a sector that has opened up. And we need now to look with prophetic eyes. We need to look with business eyes and see what are the opportunities that are presented before us and seize these opportunities. That's how I'm seeing it. And that's why I say it's the fullness of time.
Yep. So we're taking your calls, 342-0081, 466-5391, 771-1791. You can call us now and share your views and the discussion that Dr. Madonna is having with us today. And I'm seeing people on YouTube. One person, if I could remember clearly what I saw just now, someone on YouTube is saying that, you know, they think that now is a good time. All right, they're saying there is no better time than now as we seek to capitalize on such, you know, such good resources and stuff like that. So
yes,
people are agreeing that now is a very good time.
Yes, and I think, you know, with the heart of an entrepreneur, you can seize this. It's legally done, all the legalities, the intellectual property, the initiatives are there. I think if you wear the hat of an entrepreneur, we'll dive in. You know, look to see, but wait a minute, could I get support from the government if I do this? If I say I want to go into the manufacture of pan sticks, or how do we do the research on the rubber? You know, all these things, the entire world, an entire sector has been opened up. And because the world is now a global village, your market is global. So I really not taking on the detractors, right? Because if we do, we will remain in a moribund situation and somebody else will seize the opportunities. And maybe that's what they want. Right?
Well, I think some people are just being opposing for opposing sake. There are some persons who just, I don't know. Hello, good
morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Oh, I had to watch the clock. I said, Google, that's not bad people.
I don't know, ma'am. I don't know. You need to load on your radio.
You always tell me that. I just mute the TV.
Pardon?
I just mute the TV.
I don't know. Everybody else is calling and we're not getting the feedback. Once your radio is on and you're not listening to us.
I don't have a radio. I mute the television.
Okay, ma'am. I'll be hearing you.
All right. So, good morning to you, Pastor Google. And good morning to you, Dr. Madonna.
Blessings. Good morning.
I like you better without the glasses.
I use it for reading.
I use glasses too, and sometimes I wish I wouldn't have to use it, but yeah, your picture, even because, you know, a picture tell 1,000 words. Right?
See.
Yeah, the picture, yeah. And as Pastor Google said earlier, today I really looked at the advertisement, and it is so motivating and very interesting, your business. And I always thought I did ask my granddaughter, and she did tell me, oh, she don't need it, but I think she needs it.
You know what to do.
I want to encourage her.
Yeah, you know what to do. Call 307-5703 and speak to Jamelia, and she'll give you details, because she may not, your granddaughter, is it your granddaughter you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, she may not be able to join. Is she in a credit union?
No.
All right.
She's attending school.
Oh, nice.
But she's doing it online anyway.
The same course?
Right, and she's working towards the right money.
Nice. Yes.
So, but what I can do when I get the number and I can reach her, I can let her talk to your person.
Yes.
And maybe she'd be able to correspond better and know what she wants, and will be able to tell. And I like the idea of you bringing on the video, Pastor Google, with Dr. Rowley, talking about appreciation. Most time we don't appreciate things, and we know that, everybody. Little things, because we don't see it. Right? And Dr. Madonna talked earlier about the earlier part of PAN, and I always tell people, the people who in PAN, the parents did not want their children to associate with them. girls couldn't bring a pan man. You know, it had a stigma, but they persisted. And here it is. And you know what? They're not here to see it. They're not here to see where it reached, like they say, where pan reach.
Where pan reach.
So we have to appreciate what we have. And you know, like you talk about the naysayers, what money they're talking about. If and crime, if they would put down the gun and take up the pan and see what it can do for them and where they can reach with it, and the family who they talk about for, let's see how we can help you. You cannot say you're poor if you're not reaching out to tell somebody, here is my situation, how can you help me fix it up? Analyze it and tell me what to do. That is what they should be doing. And you know, your conversation, you need to bring in some of the nature, because we'll always have the positive and negative, and we can hear how they can, the conclusion that they come up with.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. And again, I talk about the timing of this, and we've got to capitalize on it. This is what entrepreneurs do, you know, you capitalize. It's like a portal has opened up, and we need to dive in, right? We have another caller. And our last caller.
Call have to be really quick.
Yeah, morning. I'm back again. I just wanted to say that, you know, many times we have spoken about diversifying the economy. And yet still we have such a powerful tool in the pan that we can also use to diversify the economy. And I think it's something that we really need to look at. And I hope that we can really appreciate that. I think there should be schools alongside just learning to play. We should have technology at the university level. People can move further from just being able to play, but being able to read the music, being able to qualify with a degree, with a master's, with a doctorate, in how we deal with the part. Thank you very much. Which include tuning also.
Right, we need to wrap up now. Thank you for being with me on Words Matter. I'll see you again next week, same time.
If you want greater respect from your bankers, bosses, those in authority, then words matter. If you want more productive business relationships with co-workers, customers, or clients, then join Dr. Madonna on the street, 919 FM, every Monday, 11 a.m. to 12 noon for Words Matter. Communication for joyful workplaces. Dr. Madonna will help you unlock the secret power of words for your financial, relationship, and physical well-being. Whether you work at home, on the road, or in an organization, join Dr. Madonna every Monday, 11 a.m. to 12 noon for Words Matter. Communication for joyful workplaces. You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the street, 919 FM.
The presence of oxygen is absolutely the absence of disease. Most chronic diseases that plague us are not happening to us, but is happening within us. We're literally eating ourselves to death, which means we're not living longer, we're dying longer. Join fitness expert Aloy Johnson, the founder of the healthiest corner on earth, located at number 92 East Drive, Chamfleur, every Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. live on The Street 919 FM, where he shows you that healing the body's temple is easier than anyone would have led you to believe.
The #1 bookstore in Trinidad is having the biggest back-to-school sale for the holidays.
Shop at Sharon's Bookstore for the biggest back-to-school sale.
All your kindergarten, preschool,
primary, secondary school,
and tertiary education supplies at ridiculously low prices. Sharon's also carries a wide range of sneakers, socks, t-shirts, vests for girls and boys,
and much more items for school. So don't miss Sharon's back-to-school sale.
Now on Eastern Main Road, San Juan, Tutapuna.
2 locations at Trin City Mall, ground level and first level. We're also open on Sundays from 8 a.m. Check us on Facebook for up-to-date info and promotions. Also, message us for a quick response.
Join the winning team with Pastor Alkaline John every Tuesday at 11:05 a.m. to 12 noon and every Wednesday night from 7:05 p.m. to 8 p.m. live on the street 919 FM as he talks about Lviv, the power of 5 fruits, one of the most powerful antioxidant supplements on the market today. The 5 superfruits in Lviv are mangosteen, acai, pomegranate, goji, and nuni. These fruits have a positive and profound impact on human health performance and disease. Join him as he gives live testimonials of the Lviv healing powers. To get more information, you can contact Pastor Alkaline John at 516-286-7079 or you can visit his webpage at www.alkalinejohn.com. Remember, every Tuesday at 11:05 a.m. and Wednesday at 7:05 p.m. live on the street 919 FM.
Join Pastor Kelvin Heinerine and friends for The Way, The Truth, The Life Radio Ministry, a Church of God ministry, live on the street 919 FM from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. This and every Sunday on the street 919 FM. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh to the Father except through me. John chapter 14, verse 6. For further information, contact 686-3845, 349-5178, or 342-7303.
Tune in to The Street 919 FM every Friday from 9:15 a.m. to 9:45 a.m. with Kingdom Health Services, situated at number 125 to 186 Eastern Main Road in Tunapuna. For the program, Health and Healing, merging the old with the new, with Mr. Brent Diet. For more information, call 318-7471 or 484-0141 or 360-4100. It's all about Kingdom Health Services on the street 919 FM.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
This message is brought to you by Island Finance Quick and Easy Loans. Need money now? Apply online to get a response in 1 minute from Island Finance. Visit islandfinancetrinidad.com. Apply today. This message was brought to you by Island Finance Quick and Easy Loans. Apply online today. The time in Trinidad and Tobago is now 12 p.m. This segment is brought to you by Island Finance. Hassle-free, unsecured loans, no down payment, no collateral, no problem. Get up to $150,000 unsecured to live your best life with Island Finance. For anything you need, visit a branch near you and live your best life today. This segment was brought to you by Island Finance. Get up to $150,000 unsecured to live your best life.
The Street 919 FM, your go-to for insightful political.
The Street 919fm.com. Here's what's happening.
Good afternoon, I'm Chanaka Phipps and this is the news on the Street 919 FM. In the headlines, MP Hossain blame Prime Minister for crime. Ex-soldier gunned down. Animals found on vessel. UWE Guild president refuses to resign. Lee Singh replaces Gayadeen at TTCSI's CEO. Internationally, Israel war on Gaza, 11 Palestinians killed, strikes begin in Israel. On top of the news, MP for Barataria San Juan Saddam Hussein has slammed the Prime Minister's recent disavowal of any blame for the spike in violent crime. Speaking at a briefing at the UNC headquarters, Shogunas, He said citizens were affected by crime, locked in their homes, including parents afraid to send their children back to school on September 2nd, fearing high levels of school violence. He complained of the Prime Minister saying crime did not rely on the government in power, but was just a matter of criminals using an opportunity. Hossain said Dr. Rowley was in fact responsible for TNT's governance and the crime situation as a Prime Minister and head of the National Security Council. On August 28, at a post-cabinet briefing, Dr. Rowley said brutal murders were not done by visitors to TNT, but by individuals who were someone's son, brother, or cousin. He said the killers of her and her father, Enrico Guerra, was a different kind of devil. However, Hossain lamented reports of law-abiding businessmen being unable to obtain a firearm license. He further slammed Dr. Rowley for distancing himself for blame over crime, but in 2012 saying a government that can't handle crime was part of the problem. In more news, a former soldier was gunned down at his Embarcadero San Fernando home on Saturday. Police believe the killing was revenge. He has been identified as 27-year-old Kadeem Ashford of Building 4, Lady Hales Avenue. Police received a report that a loud explosion had been heard at Embarcadero. Ashford's uncle Gerald Arcia told the police he was at home when he was told that Ashford had been shot on the north side of the Building 5. Ashford was found lying on his back, dressed in a black t-shirt, long blue jeans, and black sneakers. There was a gunshot wound to his head just above the left ear. The officers immediately cordoned off the area and recovered a spent 9mm shell. Police say they are treating the murder as a potential act of revenge and are asking anyone with information to come forward. In further news, the ministry said the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard intercepted the pirogue of the Coast Guard of Chaguaramas with 1 Trinidadian and 5 Venezuelan nationals aboard, as well as 16 animals, 13 sheep, 2 dogs, and 1 chicken. The ministry said the TTCG made contact with officers of the Customs and Excise Marine Interdiction Unit, who proceeded to alert the airport rostered veterinarian and the senior veterinary officer. Once the vessel was docked at the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard facilities in Stobles Bay, the ministry said the animals were destroyed. The ministry said decontamination and disposal of the euthanized animals was completed by Sanitec Limited, which included transportation of the carcasses, incineration, and disinfection of the premises. The ministry said it continues its collaborative efforts to ensure the health and safety of citizens of Trinidad and Tobago and the safety of the country's agricultural industry. In more stories, after losing a motion of no confidence, the University of the West Indies St. Augustine Campus Guild President Kirby Moses still has not submitted her resignation. According to a student guild council notice, the guild's budget, which is critical for the functioning of halls, clubs, societies, and associations, will not be approved in time for the academic year. Annual activities such as Guild Fest could also be in danger of not being held. According to the notice, the Guild will move a recall vote to have Moses forcibly removed from office for misconduct. According to Guild members, the vote is tentatively set for early this month before the Campus Finance and General Purpose Committee meeting. The Guild's signal of intent to remove Moses from office comes just 4 months after she was elected in the April 11 Student Guild elections. Moses refused to resign despite losing the vote of no confidence from the Guild Council and the student body on August 8th. According to the Guild's constitution, she was supposed to resign by August 11th. Meanwhile, in news, Darren Leasing has been appointed as the Chief Executive Officer of the TNT Coalition of Service Industries. On a Facebook post yesterday, the TNT Chamber welcomed Guyadine as its new CEO. Guyadine, who previously served as the CEO of TTCSI's, succeeds Stephen DeGans, who resigned from the TNT Chamber in February. The TTCSI President Diane Joseph revealed that Leasing would be taking over from Guyadine. Leasing expressed his enthusiasm for his new role in a WhatsApp message, saying, "For nearly 20 years, I have been looked at business from the eyes of a media entrepreneur and a brand and marketing perspective. The opportunity given by the board of directors at the Trinidad and Tobago Coalition of Services Industries allows me to give back to Trinidad and Tobago while working alongside the TTCSI's partners, the Ministry of Trade." He further went on to say he believes the creative sector is crucial to the development of the country. And internationally, Israeli forces continue to pound the Gaza Strip, killing dozens of Palestinians, including 11 people sheltering at a school in Gaza City and 4 traveling in a car near Deir el-Balah. Hundreds of thousands of Israelis took to the streets of Tel Aviv and other cities in Israel demanding a ceasefire deal after the bodies of 6 more captives were recovered from Gaza. There is also a general strike taking place across the country. Now let's take a look at your sports and your weather report. In sports, Trinidad and Tobago's men's under-20 relay team expresses thanks for support during the World Athletics Under-20 Championships. Trinidad and Tobago's men under-20 relay team expresses thanks for support during the World Athletics Under-20 Championships. Trinidad and Tobago's men's 4x100 relay team finished 7th in the final at the World Athletics Championships on Saturday night. The team of Che Wickham, Kadeem Chinapu, Hadim Chinapu, and Dylan Woodruff clocked 39.99 to finish 7th in the final. Jamaica won the gold medal with Great Britain and Thailand among the medals. In the preliminary round, the TNT finished 2nd behind Jamaica in Heat 4. The World Athletics Under-20 Championship ended at the 31st of August at Estadio Atlético de la Videna in Lima, Peru. Trinidad and Tobago finished without a medal at the championships. In more sports, South Africa star Quinton de Kock, a boundary blitzing innings by Quinton de Kock saw Barbados Royals inflict a 9-wicket win over Antigua and Barbuda Falcons in the 4th match of the Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League at the Sir Vivian Richards Cricket Stadium in North Sound, Antigua. The Falcons were inserted under blue skies but struggled with the bat in the face of tight bowling, losing 2 wickets inside the power play and 2 quick wickets straight afterwards to find themselves 47 for 4 and struggling to make a competitive total. After scoring 50 in the Falcons' first match of the campaign against St. Kitts Nevis Patriots, 70-year-old Jewel Andrews starred once again with a counter-attacking 48 of 35 balls, including 3 4s and 2 6s, to help the Falcons post 145 for 9 as they looked for their first win of the tournament. An emphatic power play from de Kock and fellow opener Rakeem Cornwall took the sizable chunk out of the target, the Royals rollicking to 76 runs without the loss of a wicket in the first 6 overs. De Kock batted through the innings, finding more fluency and increasingly shots in his locker as the innings progressed. He finished the match in some style by driving Mohammad Amir over extra cover 4-4 and then depositing the Pakistani quick bowler back over his head for 6 to finish unbeaten at 87 of just 45 balls and wrap up a swaggering victory for the Royals in their first match of the 2024 campaign. And that's all for sport. Now let's take a look at your weather. For the period this afternoon and tonight, Trinidad and Tobago and the remainder of the Lesser Antilles partly cloudy or cloudy conditions with occasional showers. There's a medium chance of a few heavy showers or thunderstorm activity. Generally settled conditions during the evening into night, despite few lingering showers. Gusty winds and street or flash flooding can occur in the event of heavy showers or thunderstorms. In our temperature last night, we had a minimum temperature of 24.5 degrees in Trinidad and 26.0 degrees in Tobago. Our maximum temperature today is 31 degrees in Trinidad and 30 degrees in Tobago. Our seas are slight to moderate with waves 1 meter to 1.5 in open waters and near 1 meter occasionally choppy in sheltered areas. Recapping the headlines. MP Hossain blame Prime Minister for crime. Ex-soldier gunned down. Animals found on vessel. UE Guild president refuses to resign. Lee Singh replaces Guyadeen at TTCSI's CEO. Internationally, Israel war on Gaza. 11 Palestinians killed. Strikes begin in Israel. And that's all for today. I'm Chanaka Phipps. Thank you for joining me to have a mesmerizing Monday.
News from the street. News from the street. 919fm.com.
The Street 919 FM, your go-to for insightful political discourse. Stay informed, stay engaged, and join the conversation. Connect with us online for the latest updates and thought-provoking discussions. Street 919 FM, the official station that defends the nation. You are listening to the Street 919 FM. Stay with us for news, interviews, and commentary that shape our democracy. Street 919 FM, the official station that defends the nation.
Times are getting harder for sure, but we still have so much to thank the Father for. Yes, there were troubled days, but we're lucky in many ways. We should always be giving praise. If you consider South Africa or Somalia, we could never murmur. We cannot compare the troubles that we face here with over there. Trinbago, you're nice. Trinbago, you're nice. Trinbago, you're nice, 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 nice. Girl, you still is a paradise. Let we sing Trinbago, you're nice. Trinbago, you're nice. Trinbago, you're nice, 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 nice. Girl, you still is a paradise. It ain't have no other nation where a man could pull a gun and hold a country to ransom. Then plead for amnesty and get away scot-free. Then we had to turn around and pay him for mutiny. It was in Iran